because my mic was not on, but now I have turned it on. Okay, so live chat is here. No audio. Ooh, audio is now there. So I think everything is fine now. Because my mic was. So since I am now starting to build the game. Okay, so I think you are able to see this VS Code easily. So how we can start? First, we will go and create an HTML file. Very easy because everything we are going to be using is HTML JavaScript. So first is snake.html. As you know, we are going to create the snake game. So here we have to create a simple markup like this one, or if you need I can zoom it, but it's okay. So let's have a snake game and snake game like here. Okay, so to create any game in JavaScript, it's the best way is to use the canvas. So we can use the canvas. Chirag says no more Next.js series. I will do, but let's first work on this JavaScript, and then maybe after this series I will start the Next.js series. And if you don't know, I am going to create 5 games each day at the same time, so 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time. So every day from today for the next 5 days I will create a game. So snake game, then ping pong game, then breakout, whatever I have on my JavaScript course, I'm going to create all of them live with you all. So I have a question. You have published React course. Is it for beginner course, advanced? Is it necessary? Okay, so the React course is there, and that course is totally for the absolute beginner. But even if you are having some knowledge in React, then also that course is totally valid. Don't worry about these things. So anyone can join and watch that React 10-hour of course on my channel. So let's now start building the canvas. So it's very easy. Let's use a canvas, and here I'm going to give the width of, let's say, 300, and I'm going to style it so that I can see where my canvas is. Border of 1 pixel, solid black. Okay, and let's copy the path. So copy the path, and I can open it on this browser like here. So yeah, we have this canvas. Amazing. Let's give height also. So height is once again 300. Okay, that's okay, fine, nice. And one styling I can provide is style, where body is going to have a display of flex, and justify content at center, so that I should have this canvas at the center. Okay, that's good. And let's have a simple h1 tag, which is saying snake game, or I can say JavaScript snake game. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I should have everything in a single div, so that it will be like this. Okay, nice. I should give it h4 so that it will become like this. h2. It's okay. Okay, so we have this canvas, and how we can start building a game. Game is a snake game. So think about snake. In the snake game, you have a dot, or you call it snake. You have a food. Dot is a simple square. So let's start by building a square. So to create a square, we can add an ID to this canvas so that I can get this canvas from our JavaScript. So let's start script, and yeah, this is a script, and here I can say const canvas is equal to document dot get element by ID, and ID name is canvas. And if I log canvas and open the console, and yeah, we have this canvas here. That's good. Since we already have the canvas, let's create a context, 2D context. So const ctx, it's actually context, but generally people use ctx because it's a short form. And then I can say canvas dot get context, and it's a 2D context. Okay, now let's console the 2D context. Okay, so yeah, we have this context, and now we can use this context to build whatever we want. And first I need a square, and I call it snake. So generally I start with a function, so I say draw snake, and here inside this draw snake I'm going to use the context, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle. So draw rectangle, but it's just a rectangle, not a draw rectangle. And then you can see we need to provide the x and y position where it should start, and width and height of that rectangle that we call snake. So starting from, let's say 100 and 100, and width will be 10 and height will be 10. Reload. Okay, so we cannot see because we have to fill this context fill style with a black color, and then I call the fill function to really fill it. Still I'm not getting. Why I'm not getting? I know why I'm not getting. I need to call this function first. Okay, that's okay. Reload, and yay, we have a very tiny dot, or we call it snake. So since we have this snake, and what next we need? We need to move this snake. How we can move? So in JavaScript you have a set interval. You can use a set interval, or you can use the request animation frame. Both of them is good. So I'm going to use the set interval to move the snake. So let's say move snake, and this is a function I have to create. Let's create a function move snake, and here I'm going to say set interval, and for every 20 millisecond, or you can say 40 millisecond, whatever you want. Let's have a 20 millisecond. I want to change the x and y position of the snake and redraw it. Okay, how we can do that? First we need to extract this x and y position of snake from here into a variable. So let's create a variable called let snake is equal to x is 100, y is 100, and let's have these two only. So here I can say snake dot y and snake dot x. I think this is good. So here we just need to change the x and y position. So snake dot x is equal to 1, I can say 120. So x position, it will move to the 120 forward. So reload. It's not working. Let's see why it's not working. Okay, so I got this. It's not working because yes, we have changed the snake but we need to redraw the snake. So I can say draw a snake once again, reload, and yeah, we have two snakes, but we don't want to have both of these snakes there. We want to first clear everything and redraw the snakes once again. So this means we need to say context dot clear rectangle, and clear rectangle means fill fill all the context, all the canvas with a rectangle. That means it's wiping out everything. So it is start from 0 0 and go to the canvas height. So canvas dot width first, width, and then come canvas dot height. Oh, height, like this. And now try this. So we are having a weird thing, like it's not clearing everything. Draw a snake, clear rectangle. So why it's not clearing the previous position? Okay, so instead of adding or creating only 120, I'm going to add very tiny amount. So let's say 1 pixel I'm adding for every 20 second. So it should be like this. It's now looking like it's moving like this, but it's not clearing. So clear rectangle. Why is this? Canvas we have, canvas height we have, and we are redrawing a snake, which is like this. So I say canvas clear rectangle. So I think it is not with a capital R. No, it is with a capital R. Okay, so what happened here? See this clear rectangle starting from 0 0 and go till the height. So context clear rectangle starting from 0 0. What happened here? So can anyone help me here? So Hemant asking why today's live. It's a live stream, not a Sunday live. So there is no discussion on any topic, or I can say there is no answering. It's just I'm working and working with all of you. So you can suggest me why this is not working. Maybe I can do something like this. So we are having everything fine, still it's not working. Clear rectangle 0 0. If I am not doing clear rectangle, what's going to happen? It's the same. Now if I add the clear rectangle, still it's having the same. What if I change the Y position of snake? Y plus equal to 1. So both of them it's moving on this direction, but still it's not clearing the previous position. Let's have a context dot, let's copy it from here. So context clear rectangle, and so canvas dot height height sometime I forgot the name or spelling actually. So I start from 2020, go to the canvas weight and canvas height. This is weird thing. I'm redrawing it. Okay, draw a snake is there. I'm changing the X and Y. let's copy and once again start it. It's having the same result. Okay, let's use one more thing, like request animation frame and move snake and moving like this. Okay, so let's use snake. Request animation frame is also not doing that. Okay, so sometime something weird happened, and that weird thing is it's not clearing. Context is not clearing. So 2D context is there. Context, get context, correct. Get context 2D. Let's do one thing. I can check it by this. I can have draw a snake like this, and so start from 300, fill rectangle. Okay, so 00 till 150 ctx dot fill. Okay, so we don't have that. Okay, so I'm doing again context. Okay, so this is good. What about clear context? This is good. So clear context is working fine here, but why it's not working like at this place? I can copy and try this one. So I got it. I think see this thing. So it's WEIGHT, wait. It's still not working. Or not wait, it's width. Still it's not working. Wow, amazing. Let's log the canvas width, what we are getting. So reload. So 300 we are getting. Okay. And what about height? Still 300. Okay, so one more time. Let's copy this code, paste it here. No need for these things. And yeah, it is there working fine. So if I say like fill a rectangle, so create a rectangle like snake dot x, snake dot y. Yeah, so this seems like working here, but it's not working on the snake part. See, it's very nicely working. So what if I say to be canvas height? Okay, and then okay, one more time. Context dot rectangle starting from snake x, snake y, and have it on 20 and 10. So fill snake with red color. Context dot fill. This is the thing. Anyone can help me? Not so many people, but if you can help me on this, why it's not working? If I say 200 and 200, draw a snake is correct, fill is correct. I think I can do one thing, like context dot begin path and context dot close path. Try this. Whoa, this was the thing I have to do. So now I can say canvas dot width, canvas dot height. So the important thing is begin path and close the path. It's telling to the canvas that hey canvas, I'm having this figure just for this portion, and then you have to start creating and close creating, nothing else. So it's having knowledge of each and individual snake I'm creating with this set interval. So that's why it's not working. But now since I have used the begin path and close path, it's now moving. So see, it's very nicely moving. And then what we have to do, we have to actually change the direction of this snake with our keyboard. So let's have another one which is called navigate snake. So navigate, it's like this one. Okay, let's create a function and say document dot add event listener, and listener is key down, and here we will create something. Let's have an arrow function and also one for key up, and this will get event like here. And when we key down, we need to check that if e dot key, that means event key, is equal to arrow right, I think. Okay, and the same thing we need for the key up. Why I'm having key down and key up? Because we need to track when it is pressed and when it is released, so we can stop moving and stop running the snake. So just like we are having for key right, we need to have a key up, left and down. So let's have a right, and then we have left, then we have up, and finally the down key when we have the down key. What's going to happen when we are doing these things? We need to create a variable like right pressed, and when I key down, I need to say right pressed as true, and my mobile falls. Let's keep it there. Yeah, so I have to say true, but when it is up, the key is released, then I can say right pressed is false. So what if on the left, so it should be left with only one T, then left pressed is equal to true on the down, and here false. Same for the up key. So up pressed is equal to true, and let's do the down pressed as true. Okay, and then on the up we need to make it false. That means when we release the key, we need to make both of them false. And now let's create these variables. So I can actually copy, so I can use multi-cursor and have this name copied, and then I can simply say let all these names, so like equal, 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 and everything is initially false, so no key has pressed. So whenever we press any key, we are recording that if it is pressed or not, especially for the navigation key. So on this set interval we have here, we are going to change the x and y according to our key pressed. So how about having, okay, so if right pressed, then we say what happened when we press the right button. So when we are pressing the right button, what we have to do, we actually have to, let's start with the down first. So first I'm going to move it only on the right direction. So yeah, and then when I press the down key, the value of x should increase, because x starts from 0 on the top and go till the height of the canvas. So we need to start incrementing, or we need to just start incrementing the y and stop incrementing the x. So on this case, we need to say snake dot y is equal to +1 plus equal 1, and snake dot x plus equal, not plus equal, we don't have to do anything on the y. So what if I try this? So if I press, okay, so I'm pressing and it's not catching the event. Let's try why it is happening. So nothing is happening there. Let's go here, check key up, key down, arrow down is there. So let's try to log e dot key, what key we are getting. So when I press, let's refresh, when I press down, so arrow down is there, that's okay. Arrow down is there, which is making down pressed as true, and that's the foolish thing I have done. Here I have to say when down pressed. So once again reload, and if I say, yeah, you can see it, when I press the y downward key, then it's incrementing y also, but it's still incrementing the x value. So what we have to do, we don't want x to increment, so snake, so it should be like on the else part. So else snake is moving on the right side. Reload, and you can see until I have pressed the key, it's moving on the downward direction, but then it start moving on the right direction. We don't want this thing also. We want to keep it moving on the downward direction once I have pressed the down key. So how this is going to work? So we need a direction variable where we are putting the value of x and y. So where if it is moving on the x direction or if it is moving on the right direction. So let's have a direction variable. Initially it is x, so I will have a text as a x as a string. Now here what we have to do, we can move it outside, and then instead of snake.x I can say snake.direction. For now I'm just commenting this down pressed and see if it is working and moving on the x direction or not. So this is the square bracket. It's a dynamic way of saying dot x. Same thing. Reload. Yes, it is moving on the right direction. Now what if when I press the downward key, instead of changing the snake, I can change the direction. Direction is equal to y when I press down key. Reload, and if I press down key and my hands are there, and now it's moving, keep moving on the y direction. Okay, so this is once again fine. What about, see, here we have moved to down. Once again, if I press right, it should start moving on the right direction. So that's why we have a right pressed, and when we press the right key, the direction should be the y, should be the x. So let's start. Click downward. Yes, it is moving on downward, and if I press right, it's starting to move into the right direction. So this is amazing, because now our snake is moving according to our navigation key. But these two are just for downward and right side. We need to move it backward, like on the left and on the up side. How we can do that? So see, when you want to make the snake move on the left or on the upside, you need to give, or you need to increment -1. Okay. So now if I refresh, you can see it's moving on the left side, and we have one weird thing like this. You can see I'm pressing the downward key, but still it's moving on the upward direction. Why? Because when I say down, I say okay, move into the y direction, but then we are decrementing the y value. Since we are decrementing the y value, it's going upward, and we have some little issue. Yeah, this is the issue, which is because of this 20 and 20. We need to clear the canvas from 0 to 0. Now you will see it's working. Okay, so to solve the direction from left and right, I'm going to call this as a speed. So let's create one more called speed, which is 1 initially. So I can change it with speed. Now reload. So see, it's moving on the right and the down, not on the left. But then I say, if I press left key, then direction is going to be x. But let's see what's going to happen if I press the left key. So I'm pressing the down first, and then I'm pressing the left. Still it's moving on the right. Now to solve this, we just need to say speed is going to be the -1. And now if you press down and then if you press left, it's moving on the left. If you press right, it should start moving on the right, but it's not moving on the right. Why is this? Because when I press the right, I need to once again set the speed as +1. Okay, once again, yes, on the left it's moving. If I press right key, it's moving on the right side. Very nice. So let's do the same thing for down press. On the down it's incrementing, and the final one, which is up pressed like this, which is for the y, and speed is negative. Okay, so now down, left, right, up, and yes, my snake is moving very easily. So since we are able to move the snake with our navigation keys, now let's handle this game over, or you can say the collision from the walls of the canvas. So how we can do that? When the x position of this snake, the x position of the rectangle is equal to the width of the canvas, or you can say 0 on the left side. So snake width start from left, from here, which is 0, or you can say the y value is 0 initially, and then the y value will become to the width of the canvas. So to start having the collision on the left side, I will say if the value of rectangle is become equal to the value of 0 actually. So let's try this. Okay, so we are changing here. So let's create a function called collision detection, and I'm going to create a function anywhere, collision detection. And how we are going to check the collision detection? We need to say if snake dot x is less than 0, then we can say alert left wall collision. Try this. Move on the left side, and yep, it says left wall collision. Do the same thing for the right wall, but it's not stopping. So we need to stop the interval we already have here. To stop the interval, first let's create an interval variable here. Let interval is equal to null. Initially it's null, and then on this move snake we are having this set interval. I say interval is equal to set interval, and when we have the collision we can say clear interval and the interval. Amazing. Let's reload this and collide from the left. Okay, and now it stopped there. Let's do the same thing for the right one. That means if snake value will become equal to the canvas dot width, then I can say right wall collision, reload, and actually it has to be greater than, not less than. And it's collide, but it's gone into the wall. That is because if I say x means it's the initial starting of the box, I need to also say the width. So snake x plus the width of the snake. So I can say the width. So create a variable called snake width. At the top I can say like let snake width and snake height both are 10. So I can change here because these two are snake width and height, and then here we can say plus snake width. So now it will really looks like it's colliding. Yes, it is colliding from the left, also from the right. Next is up and down. Now let's work for the up and down, and see we are having this clear interval for everything, so why not move it outside of the if condition. And this time let's have for two things. One is for up we need to say y value is less than 0, and for the down it's very simple, snake dot height is greater than the canvas height. So here I can say top wall collision and bottom wall collision, and finally clear the interval. So it's not starting. See, we have some issue. Okay, so if snake y value is less than, and let's have this like here, one more. Oh, got it. We are we are always saying clear interval like this. Okay, so we can move, if anything is there, then we can say clear interval. So let's have for these two also, like top and bottom, then we will refactor it later. So yes, it is working. Now go to the bottom side, collision, good, up, once again collision. Now instead of having a different alert for everyone, I can simply say game over, and then I can have a clear interval. Also, I'm going to give or create a different condition like top collision. Top collision means this one, snake y is less than 0. Okay, then same condition for bottom. And bottom is this one, snake height plus canvas height. These are the conditions I'm creating. Then const left collision, which is very easy, snake x is less than 0, and final right collision is this one. Okay, since we have all these things, I can have only one if statement, and in that I can have all of these things, like if there is a top collision, or if there is a bottom collision, or left collision, or right collision. If any of these collisions are there, then we can say alert, game over, and the clear interval. Let's do that once again, and let's have the top one, game over, cool, reload from the left. Yes, so I think it's working for every situation, which is this one, and final right one. Yes, everything is fine. Okay, so since we have the snake which is moving, we have the collision from the wall, now we need to feed this snake. That means we need to create the food for this snake. So let's draw the food. Go at the top, and I can have a draw food. Okay, let's create this as a function, draw food, and we know we need to use the same thing. Just like we have our snake, we should have our food, not our food, the snake's food, and this should be the exactly the width and height of the snake, but position should be random. So x position and y position could be anything. Okay, so we can use a random situation. First, I'm going to create food at any random position, and it's like blue, and try this. So yes, we have a very little glimpse of it, but that is because we need to redraw the food again and again. So we have this interval, we are redrawing the snake, let's redraw the food also. Okay, so now we have this snake which is blue colored snake, and now what we need to do, we need to make sure we navigate our snake to that food. Once the snake is close to the this what is this food, then we can increment the snake. But there are lots of things to do. First, we need to see how we can detect the collision of snake with the food. So just like we did for the walls, it's going to be like first you can see like here, I need to check if the x-axis and the y-axis of the snake is exactly same as this food we have, x and y both. So collision, how we can check the collision? Here comes the collision for detect collision, but this time detecting collision for the food. So I can say like food collision is there, and here I can say if snake x and food x and y, what we have done on that 30 and 4, let's have 430, 30 and 430. So if x is equal to 30 and snake y is equal to 230, then I can say let's first alert food collision. Okay, let's try this. Navigate to the food, and it's very difficult because we are moving one by one pixel, so it's very difficult to have exact position for this. Yeah, you got that. Now we have overlapped from that pixels the snake is, so we can say now it is having that. But then we need to increment the snake. So since we have only one point or one rectangle into the snake, which is we are having like this, what if I have an array of the snake? So if I have an array of a snake, I need to draw the snake again and again. So suppose I have another one which is exactly same, but the x-axis is just 1, or you can say 10 pixel more, the x-axis. So we need to, as for now, just I'm stopping the movement of the snake, and when I draw the snake, we have the draw snake, and then I can loop over all the snakes, and then so a snake dot, and for each we get the, you can say, rectangle, and then I create the rectangle, and this time is instead of snake x snake y, we need to say rectangle x and rectangle y, the rectangle of each snake. So reload, and now you can see we have a 2 point, and it's looking like a snake we are having. So how about movement? Now see this thing, I should move this navigation into at the bottom actually, so that it's not going to irritate me. Okay, so now we have to start the movement. Let's try. See, now it's not even moving. Why it's not moving? Because then we need to increment each of the x-axis or the y-axis, whatever it is, by the interval. So let's once again go to the here, and here we have a snake dot direction and incrementing its speed. So instead of having just for snake direction, we can say we need the snakes and grabbing the first snake and then move its direction. So you can see it's only moving the first dot. Now instead of that, I need to say snake dot for each and get the rectangle, and here I can have the same thing. Now instead of snake and the first one, I just say rectangle direction and change it. And now boom, we can see we are having this snake movement. And now this is the next problem. When I say downward, it's everything is downward. So when I say downward, I don't want to move full snake downward. I just want the first one to move and the other dot should follow the path. In that case, what we have to do, whatever we are doing here on the left right navigations, we need to change our logic. And the logic is very simple. We need to add a new position on the first point of the snake, first rectangle. So see, once again I'm stopping this movement. We have this snake. Now suppose we want to move the snake downward. So what I just want the first one to move downward but not the second one. So it would be like the first one, this one, will be incremented only on the y-axis by 10 pixel and like this. And the second step will be to move the second rectangle into one position of the x-axis like this. So you can see what I have done here. I can explain you. I can just copy these things and see. These commented part are the previous one and these two are new one. So see, the point is the last dot become the first and it is exactly same. See this, x 100 and 100 will become 110 and 100. So we just need to remove the last one and keep adding the new one. Okay, so in that case what we have to do here, okay, so now I have to, whenever I am moving like here, instead of just moving totally like this, we need to add a new head. So let's create a head, and head will be like x-axis we need, and then we need the y-axis. So what will be the position of the new x-axis? If I have pressed the downward key, or whatever will be the key, so direction x, so it should be like the direction will be direction should be the dynamic thing, and then y position will be, okay, so whatever the direction we are having, we need to increment it. So I can say the snake first one giving the direction, whatever the direction we have, and then add 1 to it or add speed to it. Then I just have to say snake dot unshift and unshifting head, that means adding the head at the first position, and then I can say snake dot pop. Pop means removing the last element. And let's try this thing. It's not increasing. So right head is there, and what will be the other thing like x and y. So we need to provide the x and y separately actually. So x and y, I can actually check what I did on the tutorial. So I can check for JavaScript, and we have a snake here. Snake. And now try this. Move snake is there. And okay, so I have used the dx and the dy. Instead of having just a speed and the direction, I'm having the dx and the dy value. Okay, so let's try that one. So I say dx, and dx is incrementing 1, dy is incrementing 0. That means the initial increment in x-axis is 1, and on the y-axis is 0. So when I press, or not press, initially, let's see, if I had the previous system, I need to say for each of the rectangle, I need to say rectangle dot x plus equal to dx. And if I do this, it should work, but it's not working. Okay, so once again, rectangle, for each rectangle, let's try this for each with a for each, basic for each loop. So I'm having this with the I. Oops, what is happening here? Then I can say snake dot length, and let's close this. And then I can say snake, give me the ith one, and the dot x will be plus dx. Now try this. Still it's not moving. We are having some issue. Oh, I think we have the issue for the direction, because these variables are not available right now. Oh, is there any error on the console? No, we don't have any error there. Okay, so dx is here. Snake length, snake, give me the first one, and increment the value by dx. That means increment x speed, and then draw the snake. And on the draw a snake, we are having rectangle. Correct, everything is good. What happened here? Snake x is equal to, let's say, hard coding to 120. It's not working. This is weird. I'm doing something wrong. Whew. Oh, I have this commented. This move snake is not started. Oh, I have to say dx here, and these are the silly mistakes we generally do. And now it's moving. Okay, so as before, we don't want to move it fully. We want to pop, unshift, and head will be the x is going to be the snake first position plus dx, and snake first position plus dy. And let's try this one. What happened? Once again, nothing is there. Okay, there is something. Yeah, there's a little flash, but then we lose. If I say just say unshift, Snake, getting the first one is snake first, add it with dy. How I did previously, it's the same, exactly same. Then I have clear rectangle. Okay, so clear rectangle is I'm doing at the top, so everything is fine. Let's see, is there any error on the console? Nope. Oops, once again. Let's try this here. Snake, 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 dx, dy, draw a snake, changing the value, incrementing by 1, dx is 1, so it should move. Let's try with some different combination. So it should be like here. It's moving, not moving. What happening here? Snake move. Interval is there, collision detection. Draw a snake is there. Everything is fine. We are doing this exactly same. Snake x, snake y. Const head x, snake x, dy for, okay, yes. Dot. These are silly mistakes, total silly mistakes. This is working now. But you see, it initially it was 2, but now it has only 1 which is moving, and that is happening. Why we have here, I think I should move it like this. Okay, so once more we are moving it, but what if we have 3 boxes? So let's say it was 90 and then 100 and 101. So initially it was 1, but then okay, so that's okay, fine. So for each of them we are having a rectangle, creating the rectangle, and we are having a draw snake every time. Okay, I think I got the point. What if I say it like increment by 10? Dx is 10. I think it's good. It's too fast, I know, but I can say like snake width, and I can call the snake width as 5 only. Try it. Yes, it is now working. Yes, cool. Everyone is moving, but it's moving too fast, too fast. I can reduce the speed by saying it should only update after 50 millisecond. We have a little space initially. See this, initially we have a 3 dot. That is because of the drawing of the rectangle of the snake, we can say. We have a snake width. So that is happening because we have a 90. So I should have a 100, then 100, 105, and then 110. Now it will good. Yes, it is fine. Now implement the navigation once again. So when I press down, I just need to say that dy is going to be the 1 and dx will become 0. So it's not moving. So it should be speed actually. So speed means the width. So start moving on the downward direction, not on the x. So I am doing, but when I keep pressing it, then it's working. So maybe dy is there. When I press, everything is gone. What if I say 5 only? Okay, yeah, it's working. Cool. So now 5 is there, which is snake width. And then when I say right means dx is going to be the speed. That means the snake width, move with the proper snake width, and the dy will be 0. When I press left, it's going to have when I press left, the dx is minus snake width. That means move minus with the speed, and then snake width. Actually I'm using snake width, but it's actually the speed, how many pixel we have to move every time. So how many pixel means the smallest element of, or you can say the smallest box of each of the element of snake is having the width. So each box should move one step as the width of the box. So like this. Now try. Yes. Okay, so when I press up key, then it should move in the minus y direction. Okay, so very nicely our snake is moving. Correct. So snake is moving, and now we just need to implement our collision detection. And let's try the collision. And collision is there, food collision. And now instead of this, we need to say that, okay, so snake collision is there, but it's not colliding. Okay, so I feel like I'm playing it instead of creating. Okay, so we have some issue here. It's saying that when x is snake x, so I'm not saying the snake x, it should be the first element or head of the snake. So snake first box, when it reaches the proper width or proper position of the food, like this, now I got the food collision. And same thing for the wall collision. So snake, and here get the first one only. And collision, yes, it is working. And the final step for our snake game is the growing of the snake. We need to grow the snake when we have the collision. So instead of just saying alert, we need to grow snake. How we can grow the snake? So what we have to do, we just need to grab the position of the food and then add that position into the array of the snake. So let's create a function for grow snake, which is snake dot push. And pushing, for now I'm hard coding everything. So x position is 30, and y position is 230, which is the position of the food currently we have, which is hard coded. We need to create a random food. We will do that later, but for now let's try this. Let's try to grow this, and you can see actually it's growing. If I do this many times, now you can see it become bigger. I can do left and right. Yeah, you can see now our snake is totally growing every time we eat, or not we, the snake eat the food. Okay, so now our snake becomes too long. Next, we need, once we have the snake position, or you can say once the snake eat the food, we need to disappear that food and create another random food at random place. So since we need random places, we need to have a food position. So let's create a variable called food, and food should have a x position, and then we should have a y position. So initially let's have a 0 0 for now. But what I'm going to do, when I first say draw food, I have to create the food x and y position, which should be random. So what we can do actually, we can create a function called create random food. Okay, so food position. Okay, so I can say const x is equal to, first say math dot random, and it should be multiply with 5 and actually with the snake width, so that it will only going to generate between 0 to no, I have to first multiply it with 300, so that it will generate between 1 to 300, because I want my snake to be positioned at anywhere. Okay, then when I have it, I need to make sure I have the floor of this, because random create number between 0 to 1, which is having a decimal. And finally I want to multiply it with snake width. Why I'm doing this? Because I always want to create a random number multiple of the snake width. So currently the snake width is 5, so I want the position to be multiplication multiple of 5 only. Same thing, someone is saying, is it live? Yes, it is total live. I can say yes here. Yes, the masterlim YouTube YT. Okay, by the way, since we are learning this snake, and tomorrow also I'm doing the next one, and for the consecutive 5 years I'm going to 5 years for the next 5 days I'm going to work on the games. So if you like, and if you like my work, then if you want to support me, there is a Patreon page. You can use Patreon to support me, or if you want, you can go to the GitHub sponsorship to support me, because I'm a full-time YouTuber, full-time content creator, and this is total my job. So if you like my job, you can support me and have this kind of live session plus 10 hours of big courses totally for free. Amazing. So since we have x, we can also create a y, and then we can assign food dot x is equal to x, and food dot y, in a new line, food dot y is equal to y. Okay, so that's done. And now whenever I create the food, first I say create random food position, and then use that position food dot x, food dot y, and create the real food. Okay, let's try this. Reload, and it's not available. Why? Okay, so I got it for a very less period of time, I think I'm doing something wrong. And the wrong is every time I'm creating the food, I'm creating a new where is that? Where is the create food, random food? I think I did something wrong. Okay, so that was not. I move it on the right. This is the one. Okay. So since I am recreating the food every time, and every time we recreate the food, we are recreating the random positions. So we don't want to recreate a random position every time we update or use the set interval. So just after this, I can call it only once. Then we only get the food at only one places, which is at 0 only. Okay, so first I can call this function. I can call function at the top. Still we are not able to see the food. So let's do one thing. Initially I don't have any x and y. Then I say this is actually an empty object. Food is an empty object initially. Then I create it, and then I assign food x and food y as x and y. So creating the food position first. What happened? No error. There is no error. Where is the food? So I can just log and see what food position we are having whenever I create the food. Reload. Okay, so food position is 1395 and 615. This is happening because we need to make sure it's between like divided by 2 actually, and then I multiply with a 5. No, how I did 290. Okay, divided by 10 also. So it should be divided by 10, not 2, because it's creating the number between. Why is opening there? Yeah, so now it's working fine. So we have a random position of food every time I refresh. That's good. Reload, and I can cross it. Yes. Now I need to just disappear this food and create a new random position of the food. Okay, so that's good, and that means we can go on the first on the grow snake, and instead of adding this position, I can simply add food dot x and food dot y. Okay, so let's see, is it growing? I think it is growing. No, it's not growing. Okay, I got the point. This is not growing because we need to check the collision for food x and food y also. Food y. Okay, one more time. Try. Yes, I think this time it's growing. Yes, it is growing now. And final task is to recreate the food. And it's very easy to recreate. Whenever we have the collision from the food, we are growing the snake and we simply say create random food position. Amazing. Reload, and yeah, so see this, It's creating a random position. Oh, I lose. Once again, try. So this is how we create a very nice little snake game, and I hope you like it. And if you want, you can add more functionalities, like various functionalities we can add. One is simple, the score. Then you can add the stages, or you can have the round. These are the things you can do. And someone is saying, pen sir, can you please alt space and C in the console so we can see properly? What that mean, cave pen? I didn't get that. What that mean? Okay, so I think you are saying something. I don't know what that. So I have created this snake game, very easy and very nice to play. You can customize it, you can have some images here, but this is the super basic skeleton, you can say, of any snake game. This is how we create the snake game. And if you have like mobile application, then you can create a mobile application and then simply publish that, or simply play on your own phone. So I want to play it first. Yeah, got it. I was very lucky, and I'm feeling like this game is really awesome. One feature also you can add, like as soon as we are playing along, it should increment the speed. Just try it. So alt space and C together. Okay, so let's see, alt space and C. Nothing happened. I'm on the Mac, so maybe you can give me the different. Alt space C closes the browser. So luckily this is not the one for my case, and it's not have closed. Okay, so how about this game, and any suggestion from your side? Yes, Joe. Oh, Joe, yeah, finally you are here. Yes, I am Indian. Okay. So one more thing. Tomorrow I'm going to work on another game, which will be like, let's say, tic tac toe. Let's create tomorrow tic tac toe, and tic tac toe using HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. And the same time, the 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time. If you want to join, you can set a timer for that. Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter, because on Twitter I'm very active, and if you follow me there, then you will get the information about my live and any other thing, whatever I am working. Also, you can join this Discord channel. This Discord channel is for everyone who want to join the Bitfumes community. So I should have given it here. Put this code on Git. Okay, so if you want, actually all the code is available. One more thing, actually this is a game I am creating, which is already been created on this big course of 10 hour of JavaScript course I just have created. So let's search for YouTube, JavaScript course, JavaScript game. Okay, so I think this is the one. So this is the GitHub repository, and here you will find all the games in this games directory. We have all the games, and these are all the game we are going to create, and we will create these game every day. So tomorrow will be the tic-tac-toe game, and if you want, you can watch the 10 hour of 10 hour of what 10 hour of YouTube JavaScript game. So if I go bit fumes, uh, next is Adonis, Tanzim. Adonis I'm working. So let's see, I can show you. Yes, this is the snake. No, not this. This is actually the live. Here is the second one. Second one is the live, sorry, 10 hour of game for where I am creating all these games with the use of JavaScript, starting from very basic of what is JavaScript. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed. And as I told you, you can support me on Patreon or also on GitHub. Sponsorships are there because I am a full-time content creator. Plus you can follow me on Twitter, join the Discord channel. Anything, whatever you want to do, you can do. Or if you don't want to do anything, just keep watching, and we will meet tomorrow on the same type of live, like creating the game. So let's have it. Okay, so let's end this live, and we will meet tomorrow 11 a.m. to create tic-tac-toe. Bye bye.